their UWO debuts in some tag team action. The team of Southern Aristocracy, Anthony Wilde and the Cajun Sensation, Eddie Levaughn, making their way to the ring for some tag team competition. 2-on-2 in a UWO ring.
And their opponents, they are the team of Cade Fite and Malachi.
And their opponents this evening, accompanied to the ring by Lucian Loveless, Psychotic to Death, Cade Fite and Malachi. Two established tag teams here on the Oklahoma independent scene, the Psychotic Messengers and Subject to Death, coming together in sort of an unholy union, led by Lucian Loveless, the Baron of Blood. And you know, these two are looking to spill some blood tonight against Southern Aristocracy. Two debuting teams looking to make a huge impact on the tag team scene here at Unified Wrestling Oklahoma.
Now, when you tell me that you're subjecting me to death, I already start to panic. But whenever it's in a psychotic format, you know that it's going to be dangerous. Psychotic to Death, Cade Fite and Malachi. These two men, they might be underdogs here in the being established tag team division in Unified Wrestling Oklahoma. We don't have tag team championships in UWO, but if the time ever came, if the place was ever right, Cade Fite and Malachi, they would be there. They would know what to do in this situation.
Found out two well-established tag team wrestlers in their own right, having never tagged together. This is their first time as a pair. They're giving up that experience as a team to Southern Aristocracy. Anthony Wilde and Eddie Levaughn, both relatively new in their professional wrestling careers, but they have been a tag team basically their entire careers. Unlike these two who've been in separate tag teams, sometimes facing off against each other, but sometimes what a better way to become familiar with your partner than face off with them.
Yeah, you never know when Cade Fite or Malachi are ever going to face off against one another in the squared circle. I know that they have in the past, and I'm not too sure what the phrasing is there. The enemy of the enemy is the friend or whatever. Cade Fite and Malachi, they know each other, the ins and outs.
We've been here after a huge crossbody. Only a 2 count, says our referee, Crazy Charlie.
Cade Fite and Malachi know each other like the inside and outside of the backs of their own hands. Meanwhile, Anthony Wilde and Eddie Levaughn, this is a very interesting partnership. I'm not too certain what unifies these two men other than seeking championship gold.
Sometimes that is the only unifying factor you need, a mutual love for gold. A pair of guys find they work well together and start chasing after that tag team gold wherever they can find it. As you mentioned, no tag team titles in UWO just yet, but this is a great way to show that if those titles are introduced, you are one of the teams that should be in that first tournament. Guy raining down punches out of that Luthez press. Eddie Levaughn trying to seek refuge in the corner here from the slightly more experienced Malachi. Cade Fite now in the ring alongside his partner Malachi Fite, the legal man. Double clothesline there. Took both men to get big Eddie Levaughn down. The Cajun Sensation out at 2. I guarantee he's going to be back up and looking for his corner, but instead he's in the corner of Psychotic to Death. Psychotic Messenger member Malachi in the ring now. Double whip Malachi off the ropes. Leg lariat there, driving that leg across the throat of Eddie Levaughn. Getting a 2 count though. Now right back to that head, raining down elbows.
You know, James, I spoke a little bit with Eddie Levaughn in the back, and from what I could understand through the accent and all, one thing was gotten across very quickly to me. This is a man that likes to have fun. This is a man who loves to be inside the squared circle. And then he tried to offer me a drink afterwards. So all I'm saying, wait a minute, to cover. Listen, all I'm getting at here, James, is that I think Eddie Levaughn might need to be tested for performance-enhancing substances or something along the line.
Eddie Levaughn has spent many a night along Bourbon Street, but I assure you, all substances in his body have been cleared by UWO officials, as Malachi and Cade Fite are laying it to the Cajun sensation now with a series of blows, but Eddie Levaughn caught him and sent Cade Fite to the outside. Malachi now facing the same fate. Anthony Wild on Cade Fite on the outside. Bringing the legal man back in to Eddie Levaughn, his partner. Now is Southern Aristocracy's opportunity to capitalize.
And capitalize he very well may. Eddie Levaughn, look at the power on this man. Oh my God.
Massive chop there to the chest of Cade Fite. Trying to soften up that chest, that core of Cade Fite.
If you're Cade Fite here, you need to try and find a way to create some distance, some separation. And beyond that, you need to find a way to get out of the Southern Aristocracy corner. Anthony Wild and Eddie Levaughn, when they have you in their clutches, there is a very, very small chance you're getting out of it unscathed.
Cade Fite and Malachi had it on display earlier. If you can keep your opponent in your corner, making those frequent tags in and out, the fresher your men are, the less likely you are to take damage, and the more damage you can inflict on your opponent. See Charlie having a bit of an argument here with Anthony Wild in the corner.
You don't want to mess with a man who's crazy, and you definitely don't want to mess with a man who's wild. So Anthony Wild stepping to the wrong man here. Eddie Levaughn, though, look at that splash in the corner, all the way crashing down onto your sternum, James. It's devastating.
They're crazy, they're wild, they're psychotic, and that's just the ones in the ring right now. Tossing Cade Fite by his head and neck, only getting a 2 count there. A bit of a lackadaisical cover by Eddie Levaughn, but cinching right back in with that chin lock there, trying to squeeze the life out of Cade Fite. Fite realizing he's got to stay alive. He's got to create that separation. Sometimes just a couple of elbows can cause that grip to loosen, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Cade Fite, he's looking worse for wear. I want to ask you a little bit about the communication between both teams. We know that Anthony Wild and Eddie Levaughn, they're very communicative in the ring. They have had a long-standing, long-forming relationship here in the squared circle. Cade Fite and Malachi, on the other hand, I mean, I don't even know if Malachi speaks English, James.
I can't recall having a conversation with Malachi. Normally I try to stay away from any horned beings, just as a general rule of thumb. But, you know, if there is a language barrier there, that's got to make it that much difficult for a team that hasn't teamed before, unlike Southern Aristocracy, who's teamed together, been in high-pressure tag team situations. They train together, they travel together. They're truly a well-functioning tag team, as Wild and Malachi in the ring now. Malachi with a clothesline, but he can't take Anthony Wild down off his feet. One behind, looking one arm, and a cutter from Malachi, dropping Anthony Wild flat of his face. But Eddie Levaughn had a hold of Lucian Lovelace. I don't know why he was going after Psychotic to Death's manager, but a roll up here by Anthony Wild. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We have our winners. Southern Aristocracy